Welcome to episode number 28 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and I get into all kinds of other crafty shenanigans. Today is Saturday, August the 15th, 2020. Side note, how on earth is it already the middle of August? The beginning of August was just a couple days ago, it feels like. Anyway, time is just a flying past. Anyway, so 15th of August, 2020. It's overcast today. We had a few spits of rain earlier. It's still kind of warm, but we're seeming to be on the wind down of summer. The temperatures are a little cooler at night, and I'm thankful for that. Anyway, if you're a new viewer to my channel, thank you so much for taking the time to check me out. I hope you feel welcome. I hope you like it here. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've got up to with my knitting and other shenanigans. And I appreciate everyone that stops by to check out my channel. I truly appreciate it so much. So what else do we need? Probably not much on the administrative side or the intro part, but it's about time. Let's get going and see what I've managed to get accomplished in the past week and a day. I was here last Friday, and so I had an extra day today. So I have three finished objects to show you. So here we go. Take a look at the finished objects. First finished object. You saw these last week, but we got the dryer fixed. The heating coil that had gone on the old one, we ordered a new heating coil. It came in on Tuesday afternoon. My husband picked it up on Wednesday morning, and we were back in business on Wednesday. So these little 6 guys got thrown into the wash with a load of laundry, got thrown into the dryer for a second round, and they felt it up a little bit more. I think I'm good with the size now. They're a little bit wonky, but that's fine. I'm just gonna have it sitting on the table beside me, put a glass of ice water there. Although it's wool, it's not very absorbent, so the water just kind of pools on there and then drips on me. So for cold beverages, whoopsie, sorry, I just bumped the tripod. For cold beverages, they're not working out the greatest, but to sit my cup of tea on in the morning, they work fantastic. So how about I tell you what they are now? These are the felted coasters by the Barocco, however you pronounce it, design team. I used Patton's North America classic wool worsted yarn. I used 64 grams out of the 100 gram skein to make the 6 of them. I used 5.5 millimeter needles or a US size 9. They were super quick and easy to knit. They've got a little wonky bit to them, but close enough. I like them. They'll get plenty of use in my home. So the second and third finished objects that I have, I think I showed you, can't remember if I showed you last week or, actually no, I hadn't shown you. I just talked about them, so you have not seen any of this. I did talk about them and tell you how I was planning on starting this, but this is a miniature sweater knit along that is put out by Sweater Sisters Design and Wayfaring Yarns Designs. if you have signed up with their email list, once a year they have a miniature sweater knit along. And what they do is over 4 consecutive days or 4 consecutive weeks, they send out a pattern for a miniature sweater. And they're fantastic because they really give you an opportunity to practice all the stitching and all the construction that's necessary to actually knit a sweater. And it's on a miniature scale, so you can get the knitting done in anywhere, depending on how fast you knit, anywhere from several hours to a day or two. And they're fun. They work out fantastic for using up scraps. I think the 2 of them I made, one used 17 grams of fingering weight yarn, the other one used 18 or 19 grams of fingering weight yarn. Either way, under 20 grams of fingering weight yarn, you're golden. You'll have enough to knit these 2 little sweaters. So the first pattern came out on Monday, August the 3rd, and I sat on the fence for it. I wasn't sure if I was going to dive in and make these little guys or if I was just going to pass on it this year. This is the 4th year they've done it. One of the years I made the first sweater and then didn't get around to making any of the other ones. This year so far I've made 2 out of the 4, so I think I'm on a roll, and I think I really am going to try to get all 4 of them done. I might also see if I can go back into my emails and see if I have the patterns from previous years, because I think it'd be fun to go back and make a whole collection of them. Maybe I'll make a garland to hang up someplace in the apartment for some kind of decoration. But anyway, the first pattern came out on August the 3rd, Monday, August 3rd, and I decided, I think when I was filming my podcast on last Friday, I think I had mentioned that was a work in mind, was that I wanted to cast that on. I was thinking maybe I'll wait and do it on Saturday. What did I have Saturday that... Anyway, I thought there was something I was sitting through for multiple hours. Anyway, so I did cast it on Friday after I finished getting my podcast up and going, and I finished it on Sunday or Monday. Sunday, I think I finished it. That one, I didn't work on it as quickly and not as continuously. So the first little sweater, they're just so stinking cute. I love them. I absolutely love them. So this is the first one. The theme for these sweaters this year is cables. So all 4 of the designs will have some cable element to them. And for each of these, I'm using leftover sock scrap yarn, fingering weight yarn. I'm planning on using, each of them I think I'm planning on using my own leftovers from my own hand-dyed yarn. And as long as I have a ball of yarn that's 25 grams, I'm good. I use 2.5 millimeter needles. I didn't write that down. That's a US 1.5, isn't it? So US 1.5. So this is the first little sweater. It's just so cute. I love this little guy. He's just so cute. He's got a little turtleneck. Just the teeniest little this is just too adorable. I really do think I need to go back over and find the patterns from the last 3 years and just make a whole herd of little mini sweater garland for myself. Maybe I'll see if I can find little tiny hangers and hang them on a string. Oh, good grief. So anyways, this is a turtleneck, and it has a pretty little cable design down the front of the sweater. The back is plain. There's a raglan sleeve, and it's just the cutest little cables. So that's sweater number 1. And sweater number 2, it's another one. It's just, they are just so stinking cute. This one has a rolled collar and a rolled hems on the sleeves and on the body. And this one has the cable running down the sleeve, each of the sleeves. So there you have another adorable little sweater. So this is the second one. I haven't blocked these. This one, the roll part is really curling up on the back. I probably will block these before I do. I really do think I am going to make a garland with these, and I have one that I can extend the garland, so I can add more to it over time. But there we have my two little itty bitty knit sweaters. Like I said, they're just so stinking cute. I love these things. Stinking cute sweaters. So those are my 2 finished objects. I imagine next week I will also have another finished object, because the 3rd pattern is going to come out on Monday, and I suspect I'm going to get going on knitting that. I'll cast it on Monday and get moving along on that one. So I expect when I do my podcast next week, I'll have my 3rd little mini sweater done, unless I get carried away and find other sweaters in the other ones. I have this one sweater I made out of a previous year. I have that one. It's actually, I can just see it. It's just sitting over there. I can't reach it, but I can see it. And I think that's what I am going to do with these, is I'm going to start making more of these little miniature sweaters, because they're fun, they're quick, they're easy. Well, not necessarily easy, but they're quick to make. And they're also fantastic for learning techniques of knitting sweaters and knitting garments. So that's one of the things I really like about the whole idea, is that it gives me practice on knitting garments. And I still get the gratification of having a finished sweater, but I haven't had to put in many hours of knitting time. So although they can only go on display, they're just like a little decoration once they're done. But anyway, so my beverage of choice today, Coke Zero. It's warm enough out, I feel like a cold beverage, and I don't feel like water right now. So from there, we'll move on to my works in progress. And I made some progress on my other 2 main works in progress that I've had on the go for a while. My first one is in my Fringe Supply Company field bag, and that is my Tenya sweater. And this is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. I am using Quince & Co. yarn. In the yarn itself is Tern, and the color I'm using is Terra Cotta. For the pattern, I'm using 3.5mm needles, or a US size 3. And I've made a good amount of progress again this past week on this sweater, and I'm still going round and round in circles with just plain knit stitch. So it makes it a fantastic project for being parked in front of the TV every evening watching a movie with the hubby. So I do get a fair bit going. So here's where I'm at now. It's really coming along. I forgot to measure it. I meant to measure how far along I am with it. I'm guessing I'm somewhere between 12 and, I'm probably between 12 and 16 inches. I'll measure it and add that in when I do the editing. But this past week I've come from here, where the marker is here, up to here. So I've added, it looks like a good 3 inches of stocking add-on to here. So it's coming along really well. It's a nice project to work on, again, while I'm watching TV. I'm going to really have to start researching how I'm going to adjust the pattern a bit to accommodate my nice dainty arms. Who am I kidding? My big beefy arms. I'll need to do some kind of adjustments to the arm opening and the number of stitches I'll be using to make the sleeves for the sweater. So I'm going to have to start going through Ravelry and looking at the notes that other people have made. I know a lot of people have commented the easiest way to adjust them is to choose the size of sweater to fit your arm, and then the rest of the sweater, because it's designed to be an oversized sweater, and then just knit that size of sweater. That won't work for me, because to do that I would have to, the size of the arms on the largest sweater would be tight on my arm. So I opted for, I'll make the body the correct size body for the sweater, and then I will make adjustments for the armhole. So what I'm thinking I'll do is that I'm just going to start the armhole sooner, and then perhaps just do straight body knitting, like just continue knitting straight for an extra couple inches to make the armhole and the arms of the sweater a little bit looser. But I do have to sit down and research that. If anyone has made this sweater and adjusted the sleeves to make them larger, I'd love it if you'd leave a comment down below for me and let me know how you did it. Or if you have seen pattern notes from how someone else had made that same type of adjustment on their sweater, I'd love it if you just let me know, direct me to that particular pattern or that particular person. That'd be amazing. So there we have my Tenya sweater. Like I say, I'm really happy with how much progress I made on this. So between finishing off since last week, knitting 2 little itty bitty sweaters and getting a goodly amount of work done on Tenya, I'm really happy with my knitting progress this week. I also did a little bit of work on my second main work in progress. Oops, here comes a motorcycle. Actually, it was 3 motorcycles, but they were noisy. It's the one disadvantage of where our apartment is in the summer times, when the motorcycles go by, the really noisy motorcycles. But such is life. I love the apartment enough that that's not going to dissuade me. So for my scrap wrap, I only added 4 squares this week. The extra time I normally would have been working on this was spent working on little bitty sweaters. So that was my trade-off. So I've added these four squares. I did tuck in some of the tails. I have a few more that need to be tucked in now, but I'll get to that. So here we have the four squares that I added this past week. And I had somebody ask in the comments last week, was it on here or on my blog? Maybe it was on my blog, commenting that they thought it was unusual that I add my squares on the diagonal and not in just straight rows. But I do add a few on a straight row every once in a while, and then I add them either vertically or horizontally, but typically I do add them on the diagonal. And I really don't know why. I started out I think where it actually comes from is I used to crochet afghans that had little motifs on them, little squares. There's a pattern I put together and have. It's a free crochet pattern on Ravelry, the Around the World crochet quilt. And what I do with that one is I would start in the center with one color, and then you make diamond shapes continually going out wider each round. So I got into the habit when I was making those that I would crochet up a whole bunch of squares of a specific color, and then I would add those on. So I was in the habit of adding onto a diagonal, and then I would crochet up however many squares I needed on the next one and add those on or sew those on. So I think I got into a habit of adding on the diagonal. As strange as it sounds, you still get to the same end result eventually, but I think that is why I do them on I add the squares along the diagonal. It's just an odd quirk, I guess. I do think it comes from back when I was doing these crochet quilts. So that's it for my works in progress. So like I say, I only have the 2 projects that are on the go right now. Plus I'll have another mini sweater I'll get started on Monday. So hopefully I'll get that finished on Monday, Tuesday, and then the rest of the week I hope to spend working on my scrap gown or scrap wrap and my Tenya sweater. I will add the measurement of how long that is. So next up, I want to talk for a few minutes about stash enhancement and other knitting enhancements. So 2 things I got this past week. First is my Knit Crate Sock Crate July 2020 package. And I did film a quick little unboxing of that I posted earlier this week on my channel. So if you want to go back and check, you can take a look at that little quick video. If I remember or figure out how, I don't know which side it goes on, I'll put a little iCard up at the top on one of these sides to direct you to that video. And if you're interested in seeing the unboxing. But I'll just do a quick peek. This is the yarn I got this month. I really like this one. It is Knitology Sparkling Sock. It is 70% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, 10% stellina. There's 400 yards in a 100 gram skein. And the color name is Silt. I'm not sure if that's focusing for you or not. So this is really pretty. I like this. And I always opt for the anything goes option. I don't care if it's warm tone colors, if it's natural, if it's cool tones. It's a sock crate. I'm most likely going to be using this to make socks. Potentially a shawl, but more likely socks. So especially this one, I think these will definitely turn into a pair of socks sometime soon. And then there was a little extra with that. There's the cute little stitch marker of a hot air balloon. I think I just showed it to you upside down, didn't I? I'm afraid of heights. There's no way you're getting me in a hot air balloon, so I don't even know how these things, how they're supposed to work. So there we go. Cute little hot air balloon. Stitch markers, the little extra bit this month. So that was cute. I really like that. And I'll be excited to get started casting on one of these days soon. I'll cast on a pair of socks with this or something with it. So I'm just looking out the window. The husband's out on the balcony harvesting our little baby tomatoes. I can't get this closed. There we go. And the second thing I bought, or I had ordered, that arrived in the past week, and again, this one also had an unboxing video that I posted this past week. So this past week there was 2 unboxing videos in between last week and this week's episode. And as some of you are probably aware, Fringe Supply Company is closing shop, and they've been having different clearance sales come online over the recent while. So I didn't order anything the first time around. I had ordered my blue field bag a little while before luckily a little while before they decided to close. But they sent out another email recently saying that they had come across a few more things in the warehouse and they put those up for sale. So I ordered a Fringe Supply town bag. And what this is basically, it's a small, medium-ish size, basically a tote bag. It's in natural with a yellow waxed canvas. And I'm not quite sure what I think of the feel of waxed canvas. I think it'll grow on me, but right now it feels weird, but that's okay. But on the unboxing, I have a little bit more detail of what the pockets look like. It has 2 small handles for just carrying it around in your hand. It's not going to work it's likely not going to work, with me, it's never going to fit over my shoulder. And it also has the drawstring on it, but I think the drawstring I don't know if it'll close completely. And it's a good size for my scrap wrap. So my scrap wrap fits in there quite nicely. So now I have my 2 works in progress, both of them sitting in Fringe Supply bags. So for someone who did not really have any project bags until just now I have 2 Fringe Supply ones. I did have another fabric tote bag that I had been using as a project bag for quite some time, and I suspect I probably will continue to use that as a travel project bag, but I haven't used it recently. But I just have these 2 on the go. So what else? So I had a handful of finished objects. I had some decent progress on my 2 works in progress, and I had a couple new things come into the house. And while I was filming, my husband had gone out to check out, there's a little farmer's market a block or 2 down the road from our place. So he wandered down there and he came back with a teeny little bouquet of flowers for me. This is just so adorable. He had bought this container with flowers in it a little while ago. It's got a pretty little wire bow on it, and it has a suction cup on it so that you can stick it on your window. Well, there's no way I am going to trust a little suction cup to hold a little bouquet of flowers on my window. No, I'm not gonna do it. So when he went to the market today, he was looking at this, and you could buy, since you've already bought the little vase for it, it's like these large salt and pepper spice shakers. It's tiny. When you look at the size of it compared to my hand, it's probably only 4 inches, probably about 4 or 5 inches tall. And they had it so you could just buy the little refill flowers. So he bought me a little teeny bouquet of flowers. He was talking to the girls and he said he didn't want to buy a large bouquet of flowers because he's decided that I would just be worried about what he had done or what he was up to. Nah, he's a good guy. There's no way he likes buying me flowers, and I love getting flowers, so we'll, oh, that tickled my nose. So there we have a good way to end off today's episode, looking at these pretty little flowers that the hubby picked up for me today. So on that note, with the cute little bouquet, I'll sign off and we'll see you guys again in a week probably. Alrighty, if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you would like this video. If you want to click the notification bell, you'll get a message and let you know when I've uploaded a new video. And I'd just love to have you as part of my little knitting community. I appreciate the time you take to watch me, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Makes my day when I get new subscribers. So thanks so much, everyone. Take care, and I will see you guys in a week. Bye now.